Hi, I'm Dave Camlin, and this video is going to show you how to share your story about being an Ethno organiser through the SenseMaker app as part of the Ethno research project. There are three parts to the video. The first part is going to show you how to download the app or how to find it on your computer. The second part of the video is going to show you how to share your story, and the third part is going to explain how to use the app to interpret the story that you've just shared. The reason that we're using this storytelling approach is because we think it's in these stories that the real value of the Ethno experience will start to reveal itself. So we're really grateful to you for taking part, and we hope that you will benefit as well, because the collective power of your stories will help us to really explain the value of Ethno. So let's have a look at SenseMaker. SenseMaker is the app that we're using to capture your stories. You can either download it as an app to your phone, or you can go to this website on your desktop or your laptop computer and you can find the app there. You can use it that way. Once you have downloaded the app, it will appear on your phone as the SenseMaker icon. Click on the icon and it will open up the projects. You need to search for ethno_org, and this is the same whether you're using the app or the desktop version. This is the project where you're going to share your story. When you click on the project, it will ask you to create a capture, and that's what you want to do. So you're going to click on create a capture and make a new entry. The first screen is just going to give you some information about the project, and you need to consent to share your story, and then click next. On the next screen there are a number of prompts that might help you to think about the kind of story that you want to share. Your story might relate directly to one of these prompts, or it might be something that you've already got planned. But read through the prompt questions carefully and choose one of them that you think is going to help you to share your story most effectively. Then when you share your story, you can either type it into the app, or you can choose to dictate your story instead. This is me dictating my story on the SenseMaker app. This is me dictating my story on the SenseMaker app. Or you can choose to upload a photograph. You might have a photograph already on your phone, or you could simply take a new photograph. I might share a photograph of my studio, given that that's mostly where I'm doing all of my work at the moment. Once you've shared your story, the third part of the process is to interpret the story that you've just told using the app. In the next part of the app, you're presented with a number of diagrams that you can interact with to interpret your story. Some of them are triads, like this one, where you can interpret your story by moving a bubble around the triangle. For example, the first question is asking you whether your story is about someone developing a sense of connection to themselves, to other people, or to a particular place. And what you do is simply move the bubble around the triangle in relation to these three different categories and let it rest at the place where you think it is most significant. The next question involves placing stones on a grid. You need to decide for each of three groups of people, organisers, participants and artistic leaders, if that's relevant to your story, whether the impact of the story is more inward looking or more outward facing, and also whether it's more to do with groups or individuals. For example, if the story relates to an organiser and it's about a particular personal benefit for an organiser. It might be something that you benefited from, and it's something that's particular to you. You might place the stone down towards this end of the spectrum. If it was about benefits for a group of organisers, you might place it up here. If it was about an impact on organisers that went beyond, that was facing outwards, might be to do with what you as a group were able to achieve looking outwards, then you might place the stone over here. And if it was to do with your impact or things that you were able to achieve more individually as a result of the story, then you might place the stone down in that corner of the grid. But again, choose which part of the grid most relates. And you can do this 3 times. Once for organisers. If your story relates to participants, you might place a stone for participants in a different part of the grid. And a 3rd time if your story relates to artistic leaders. If none of these apply, you just simply remove the stones from the grid and just leave the ones that relate to your story. The final way to interpret your story is asking whether the impact of your story was on individuals involved or more society in general. The final part of the interpretation is just telling us some information about you and the story that you've shared. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Firstly, download or find the app. Secondly, share your story. Thirdly, use the app to interpret your story. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story. Your thoughts and perspectives and interpretation will really help us to make a stronger case for Ethno, which will benefit all of us. Our research will be deeper and more detailed, and the results of the research will help us all to articulate a stronger case for why this work is so important. So thank you for sharing your story, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.